Hi everybody, and welcome back to Lost Genre Relationships. If your significant other's ex sent you their intimacy tapes, would you watch them? Well, our first OP did, so let's go and get started with that story. This one's from user ThrowArray Sad Fiance 2020. My fiance's ex sent me their intimate tapes and I made the terrible mistake of watching it. My fiance, 27 male, and I, 29 female, just got engaged a week ago. I proposed to him when I heard from our friends that he was sad that his proposal plans were ruined by the bug. We have been very happy this past week. I guess this caught the attention of his bitter ex, 28 female. She contacted me on social media and sent me a few videos and said that even though I may be marrying him, I would never be able to satisfy him in bed the way she did. For some background, early in our relationship, I was a bit insecure about this ex, especially how attractive she was. But my fiance assured me that he would never ever consider being with her again because she was abusive and used to force him into doing things he did not like. I soon grew out of these insecurities because my fiance was an amazing boyfriend and always made me feel loved and very secure. But the ex's message brought back all these insecurities and I decided to watch the video she sent. It was a huge mistake. I have never seen my fiance so passionate, vocal in bed with me. She even had a video of her giving him a BJ in a public place. I never knew he was into all that stuff. I got really upset and decided to check if he had kept any of these videos on his phone. Turns out he hadn't kept any of them, but I found messages discussing them with his best friend Sarah. Apparently, his ex had sent these tapes to him as well to remind him how good it was between them. He had deleted them right away and blocked her, but was debating whether or not to tell me about this and thus asked Sarah's advice. The conversation somehow turned into Sarah asking who was better in bed. My fiance tried to evade the question, but she pressed the issue for some reason. It looked like she was teasing him and was being playful, but after a while he got mad and sent her a mini rant. The important gist of it was basically this. Quote, "If you look at it from a purely physical perspective, then yeah, X was better. She was more my type physically and intimately. She was very aggressive and passionate and always took the initiative, which I liked. And she gave one hell of a BJ. But she was also abusive towards the end. She started using intimacy as a tool, and instead of feeling loved, it became a desperate attempt for me to connect with her. Sleeping with OP made me realize that it was not just about the physical aspect. I feel loved and secure and happy when I'm with her. Even if she is less my type compared to X, the emotional connection means that being intimate is automatically great. Although the second half of this rant somehow saves it, I still feel really hurt by his admission that sleeping with her was better. He did tell me that he liked me being aggressive and taking initiative, and I do try to be more like that, but once things start happening, I end up becoming more passive and let him take the lead. I know I can try being more aggressive, but I am afraid I can never be as good as her and I can never be the kind of girl that can give public BJs. Now, I wondered if he settled for me despite not enjoying it as much with me. Logically, I know I don't have to be the best at everything for my fiance, but it hurts because he is the best boyfriend I have ever had in all aspects that I can think of, and I always thought our intimate life was amazing. Now, I feel like I just got lucky because I was the first person he dated after that abusive piece of S. And the bar was set so low that he decided that our relationship was amazing enough to make up for that I was not as good in bed as she was. I feel sad and hurt, and I don't know what to do. The ex managed to ruin what was supposed to be one of the happiest periods of my life. I don't know how to bring this up to my fiance without sounding like a nut with no self-control who thought it was a good idea to watch the videos and snoop on his phone. I guess her curiosity got the best of her and now she has to go through this thing, but she did give us an update, so first we're gonna take a look at 2 pieces of advice and then we're gonna move on with the update. Majestic Indigo says, "These feelings are what she was shooting for. She wanted to hurt you and you're letting her. Those videos and her are his past and it should stay there. You are his future. There is more to a good relationship than physical intimacy, and you have it. You have what she wants. Don't let her take it away. Deleted said, just a stupid thought on the off chance it could help you. Think about whether, instead of talking about sleeping together, they had been talking about cooking. And your fiancé admitted, when pressed, that yes, she made better burgers than you do. But he also loves how you make the burgers. And the more he loves you, the more he loves it. And he loves how you two do it together, how you spend time together in the kitchen, how you enjoy the meal together. The fact that cooking isn't held over him, but is something you do together as a couple, and that he wouldn't have it any other way. Of course, sleeping together naturally is a far more vulnerable point for us because it's so intimate. But I wanted to throw this thought out there in case it could help you see things in a different way. Okay, now it's time to move on with the update. Also, what did you guys think about that cooking reference? After posting here and reading the advice and reflecting on my actions, I realized what I did was wrong and a violation of my fiancé's privacy. I allowed my insecurities to dictate my actions. Even though my fiancé is okay with me using his phone, my intent to snoop made what I did wrong, so I decided to just come clean. I sat him down the next day and told him that the ex sent me the videos as well, and also came clean about the snooping. He was pretty upset, but surprisingly he wasn't that upset with the snooping. He seemed more upset that his ex had somehow managed to cause drama once again in his life. He told me that he hadn't watched any of the videos because in a majority of them he was uncomfortable with recording them and only did it for her. He was afraid of me watching them made me look at him in a bad way. This made me feel even crappier for what I did, and I apologized again and reassured him that they did not in any way lessen my feelings or respect for him. I wanted him to have some time to process things and decide what to do about the ex and what I did. So I gave him some space. That night, I decided to cook his favorite meal as a sort of apology dinner and discuss things. He seemed in a much better mood. He apologized to me for not telling me about the tapes right away and for being an idiot and not realizing that she would come after me when he had blocked her. He told me he appreciated me coming clean about the snooping and understood how I got carried away and that I could have just talked to him and he would have given me his phone and reassured me that he hadn't kept any of the videos. I asked if he was going to press charges regarding revenge porn, and he told me that he wanted nothing to do with her and that we should just move on and enjoy our engagement and forget the whole thing. I told him it was completely his choice and I support him and would delete the videos and block her right away. Finally, I brought up the texts and he apologized to me for the rant. He told me that was the first time in a long time that he had actually thought about who was better and that he'd never actively compared me with any of his exes before. He told me he should have just answered it with a simple "my fiancé is better" and tried to apologize again. I told him that he didn't have to sugarcoat anything and that it was his private conversation with a friend and I have no right to be mad when he wasn't really disrespectful about me or our intimacy. I also told him that it was okay if she was better and I didn't have to be the best at everything. He explained to me that after talking to Sarah, he thought more about it and that he hadn't really expressed his thoughts well in the text, but he would like to explain it better. Quote, "You are the best I have had. I am not lying or sugarcoating anything. If someone asked me who is the most skilled or the most adventurous intimate partner that I have had, then yeah, it would probably be her. But that doesn't really matter because if someone asked me what was the best I have ever had, my first thought would be the time when we slept together right after you asked me to marry you. And then it would be the night when you first told me you loved me. And the third would be the time when we did it in the kitchen the day I moved in. For all her skill and experience, she couldn't even make the top 3, and we have the rest of our lives to make sure that she doesn't even come near the top 100. So no, I am not lying when I say you are the best I have had. I am not going to lie. Despite what I said about not needing to be the best, just hearing what he said, maybe I butchered the quote, he was so much more charming and eloquent, made me really happy. So I kissed him and asked him if he wanted to try and break into the top 3 again. Then we slept together. I didn't really specifically try to be more aggressive, but I tried to focus more on what he was feeling to reassure myself that he was enjoying it as much as I did. That naturally allowed me to be the one in the lead, and it was great. I could tell that he really enjoyed it as well. I know I have to work on my insecurities and potentially see a therapist, but for now I will try my best to just forget what I saw in those videos and enjoy being engaged to the most amazing man I know. And there you go. Communication helped these two put everything out in the open and get everything clear. And now they can focus on each other and their engagement. The ex be damned. And on that note, we're gonna move on to the next story. What would you do if you figured out that your dad was cheating on your mom with your brother's ex? Now, if you guessed that that's what the next story is about, you'd be right. So let's continue with the next story. This one is from user Known Action. We confirmed my dad has been cheating on my mom. Forgive me if this is scattered. I've just been struggling with this the past few days. I've never posted here before, though I have been aware my dad has cheated in the past. It's just this most recent transgression has truly turned my family upside down. My parents have been together over 30 years. 2 years ago, my dad admitted he was never faithful to my mom. My mom stayed with him for our sake, but my father has cheated again now. Here's the kicker. It's with my older brother's, 30, ex-girlfriend. Before this happened, before their affair started, my parents nearly separated but decided to try to work things out. My dad's way of sorting things out was by getting with my brother's ex. We've had our suspicions for a while. She's a tenant in an apartment he is subletting, and she texted him a few months ago blatantly saying she wants to be in bed with him. My mom was the one who saw the text first. They tried to play it off as an accident, but that's kinda hard to come back from. He has since deleted that text from his phone, as he has every text he has sent to received from her. The other day, my mom confirmed it. She saw the texts on his phone that he forgot to delete that include his pet name for her and him telling her he loves her. My mom confronted him and he admitted to it. He also admitted to it on a phone call with the girl, who my mom called immediately after. Her only response was, "Why did you tell her?" And she told my mom to talk to my dad about it. My dad is now trying to deny it, even though he said several vile things that further confirmed it, which he's now trying to pretend he never said. Now, his story is he has been chasing after her and she has been refusing his advances. Mind you, the girl has never denied it. My mom has stuck with my dad through a lot. She stayed with him so her kids could have a father, and I know she has regretted it ever since I was young. He was abusive towards me and an alcoholic. Great father for the year candidate. I've clearly never had a good relationship with him, but my brother did. He looked up to him, admired him, and wanted to be a man he could be proud of. He even defended my dad regarding this. Unfortunately, his view has been forced to change. I don't know what to do. I'm sick. My brother and this girl broke up on bad terms, and it's clear she did this just to hurt him, and she got my dad to help her. When they were together, my mom welcomed this girl into our home and continued to keep in touch and stay in good terms with her. The fact that she used my father to hurt my brother, knowing it would always affect someone who has always been kind to her, infuriates me. He was just a tool and he entered this relationship knowing that. My mom is the strongest woman I've ever known. She's a cancer survivor and has done everything for our family, giving up everything, just to see my brother and I live as happy and healthy a life as we possibly can. To see her suffering over this is breaking my heart. To see my brother's world crashing around him is one of the most haunting things I've ever seen. We haven't spoken to our dad. He won't talk to us. He won't talk to my brother specifically. I've managed to speak to him for around 10 minutes total in the past few days. I caught him yet in another lie regarding this situation, and he hasn't spoken to me since. I don't know what to do. I don't know how to help my family. We can't tell my grandma, my mom's mom. This would break her heart. My mom and I aren't surprised he cheated. That's the kind of man my father is, and it's disgusting as is. But I doubt that he can change. We just never thought he would go so low. I'm doing everything I can to recover the deleted texts and more. He knows he slipped up and admitted it, and he thinks he can gaslight us into thinking he never did. He's going to do everything he can to manipulate this situation however he can so he can somehow be seen in a better light. Please, if anyone has any advice on how to best help and support each other through this, I would greatly appreciate it. Thank you, and I'm sorry this was so long. Well, I know what you guys are thinking, but I'm the one with the microphone, so I'm gonna say it. That dad deserves a kick in the nuts, and the ex deserves one too. To me, the thing that sucks the most is that the mom stayed with this a-hole for the sake of her kids. Personally, I don't agree with this, but she decided to throw herself on top of this grenade for her children. In any case, OP has given us an update 2 months after this first post, so let's continue with that now. Yesterday, I sat down and spoke with her on the phone for half an hour. A lot has happened in the past 2 months. The other day, we found her in our apartment and she got physical with my mom when she told her to leave and tried to usher her out the door. My mom has bruises and he just let it happen. I asked her a lot of questions, caught her in a lot of lies, but I didn't press on them. I just listened. As expected, she confirmed that this is revenge against my family, though unintentionally. I never brought up my brother, but she repeatedly did, and it definitely made her intentions clear. I told her I don't hate her, that I'm not angry with her, and I meant it. At least in regards to this situation. I'm effing furious she put her hands on my mother, but regarding her relationship with my dad, I'm not angry with her, because he's the one who had a family. He's the one who should have done better because of that. My dad panicked when my mom let it slip that I spoke to her. He wants to forbid all contact, and I wasn't planning on speaking to her again regardless. I asked her if she wanted to talk, she said yes and called me the next day. Had she said no, I would have left it and her alone. I've had her new phone number for weeks, and I haven't done anything or called it because I know it's not worth it. I told him if he demands us to respect his relationship with her, then he should respect our civility and allow this. He's just going to cause more hurt by making a big deal about it. When this all started, my mom asked me to write my dad a letter, and it took me a month to sort out everything I wanted to say, but I finally sent it to him. And he immediately brushed it off and tried to minimize everything. It wasn't just about this situation. It was about a lot of hurt he's caused over the years, and I know he doesn't like to own up to what he's done, and I expected it. But I asked him to sit down and talk to me about it, because if he cares like he says he does, it shouldn't be a problem. He refused to, as I expected him to. It just makes me really sad to think that I was able to have a civil conversation with the woman who has had such a key role in hurting my family before I was able to sit down and have a conversation with my father simply because he doesn't care to. Frankly, I respect her more than I respect him for that. I don't know what I'm doing really. I feel more at peace now, but I'm still angry and hurt. I'm trying to support my mom, grandma, and brother as much as I can. Edit. Forgot to say, but just want to mention I was not there when things got physical. Had I been there, the second that cretin put her hands on my mother, I would have picked her up and literally thrown her out. The apartment where this happened is not where my parents currently live, but an apartment they sublet. My brother's ex used to be a tenant, but moved out when her relationship with my father was confirmed. Just forgot to update that point from my original post. LMFAO. I'm gonna say it again. That dad deserves a kick in the nuts. What a disappointment of a father. And that ex doing this whole thing to hurt the brother? What the hell? That's psycho behavior. What do you guys think about this whole thing? What should OP do now? Okay, well, we've reached the end of the video. I truly hope that you guys liked it. If you did, please go ahead and click like. If you still haven't subscribed, then go ahead and click subscribe with the bell so you get notified when I upload a new video. Also, here you'll find 4 different videos, 2 from Lost Genre, which is this channel, and 2 from my other channel, LG Reddit AITA, a channel focused exclusively on Am I the A-hole? So go ahead and give that channel a try. Alright, and having said all that, I will see you guys in the next video.